Just 2 players left out of a field of 192, which consisted of 90 pros and 102 amateurs. Tish Johnson, Aleta Sill will bowl for the 92 U.S. Open.
And they were having a little fun out there at the start of the match.
They sure were. Now let's see how much fun they have now. Tish Johnson just bouncing all over the approach. I'd say she's got the enthusiasm for this match. How about you?
She does, but this time she's going to sit down and say, control that adrenaline.
2 completely different types of players. Aleta Sill, a real practitioner, a technician, somebody that just finds a mark and does nothing but walk up and hit it shot after shot after shot, and she leaves a 10-pin on the opening offering. And you will not see much emotion from Aleta Sill.
No, at the opposite end of the spectrum. But I think we will if she wins tonight.
Player that's had all sorts of physical problems with tendons in her wrist. Took 3 weeks off. Wasn't even sure she was going to get a chance to bowl. As you see, a beautiful trophy there that will be awarded just a few minutes from now, along with a wonderful jacket and a check for $18,000.
Aleta had some strained tendons in her arm and has been getting electronic stimulation and ultrasound, taking a lot of Motrin, just trying to be able to bowl. This is only her 2nd event of the year. And she has 9 titles from that top seed position, but the last one back in 1989.
A terrific front runner. Came out this morning with a 150-pin lead and just kept on shooting those 220s and ended up extending the lead over Tish Johnson as she strikes in the 2nd frame.
That's right, never gave anything away.
You know, players out here could take a lesson from Aleta in terms of once you get ahead, how you stay ahead. Inside her mark, and trouble for Tish Johnson on the right-hand lane.
And she had been sending it wide. She's going to make sure she doesn't do it on this shot. Actually setting it a little earlier than she had been, pulling it inside her target, coming up high, and this is a difficult spare. She needs to try and take out the 2-pin and the 8-pin with the ball.
Yes, asking ye shall receive.
And that was the first ball that went high. She had been playing around the 10th board, set that one down 12 to 11, so she did pull it 2 boards inside of her target. And she picked up that spare, not exactly the textbook way.
That was the street version. More direct, gets the hammer out on lane 53. Now let's see if the top seed can come through with a strike here and take the lead in this match. Ranked in the top 5 in career earnings. And all of a sudden, Aleta Sill looks back and says, I'm not too happy about the rack on 54. I think I'll try another.
She wants to make sure she carries this shot. It'd be a double to give her the lead.
That looks like the pocket's a little bit closed there, didn't it?
A little bit.
Good pocket for a right-hander, but not good for a left-hander.
Exactly right.
For the double and the lead. That was a very nice shot.
And we saw some reaction out of her there. She's playing also around the 10th board, hitting very hard, all pins straight back. She said carry. Yes. Ooh. She's giving some back there.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? She usually saves that for the 9th and the 10th. But after all, this is the U.S. Open. More loft on this shot. And a little slap of the hands as well. So Aleta Sill has gotten Tish Johnson's attention here early on in the title match.
And there we saw Aleta was also playing about the same area as Tish, but going out 1 board, 10 to 9 and back. A little bit more arc.
Back at you. Oh, on the other side. Second, Brooklyn, and a pat on the back, although she's patting her own back.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Debbie Takahara, who is the 1991 Miss Fountain Valley, and her reign, I think, is up shortly sometime in May, but celebrities and the stars out for this one tonight at the U.S. Open. No. Not the solid 9-pin in the U.S. Open.
And she says payback. She said, it gave me that Brooklyn, but I've just been paid back.
Yep.
And this, one of the best shots a left-hander can make. Pretty much straight up 10. Solid into the pocket. Ball driving too hard, leaving the 9-pin.
Playful animation from the 15-time winner, Tish Johnson, who really threw a great shot there.
And Aleta, first time we're seeing her this year. Went home, spent some time with her grandparents, Adeline and Steve, over the holidays. Wanted to say hello to them.
And I'm sure they're glued to the set right now, trying to cheer this shot on. 6-pin stands on the right-hand lane. Both of these players have led this tournament. Both of these players have lost from the top seed position. That is not a good feeling.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, they both lost to Dana Miller-Mackey.
Mm-hmm. Bumped them both off, didn't she?
Aleta lost in 1983.
And Tish in 1990. Spare up for Aleta Sill in the 5th, and she leads by 10 as we're at the halfway point.
Interesting. Aleta only used 2 balls the entire week versus Tish, who used 8. So.
Yeah, but when you're leading and you're averaging 222, why would you go into the paddock for anything else?
She obviously had no trouble with what she had. She's using Ebonite equipment. She's an Ebonite staff member, as were all the women, variety of company staff members tonight.
Beat her a little quick, but she made the adjustment at the line. There you see Aleta turn around and say, well, I had to make the adjustment on the fly that time, but it worked out very nicely. And Tish kind of looks back with a smirk and says, yeah, right, you had to strike all the way.
Tish having 2 titles from number 2 seed.